Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're going to be reviewing Django Unchained, a film by Quentin Tarantino, written and directed. And we're going to be discussing a few different things that's going on in this movie, like progression of characters within it, writing, development between relationships of all the characters. We're going to be looking at the ending, some of our favorite moments as well. So stay tuned. We will be having a discussion about this. This is not a reaction to the movie Django Unchained. Both of us, me and Colin, have both seen the movie beforehand, and now we will be discussing it. So let's get into it.
Let's do this.
Alright, so let's just start off with something light. We'll just talk about our favorite moments that happened. You can go ahead and start. What's your favorite moment from this movie?
I mean, I have to say the shootout. That's just hands down the best moment of the movie.
Yeah, you can't get anything better than that. The shootout is very well directed. The gore is a little extra, I think, like some of the effects he uses, but that's kind of the charm of it, is that it's a little bit extra. It looks good.
Kind of like a classic Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
With all the gore.
It's very well done. The acting's incredible.
I'd say it's probably Jamie Foxx's best role.
Yeah, I think so. I personally haven't seen a lot of Jamie Foxx material, but this is without a doubt my favorite thing I've seen him in. Let me look up Django Shootout. Django Shootout scene, and we'll go ahead and review this clip.
You really want me to shake your hand?
Once again, every performance was on the top of its level. Leonardo DiCaprio was amazing. Jamie Foxx was amazing. What's his name? I don't remember.
Christopher Waltz. He was in Inglourious Basterds too, right? He was the bad guy.
Yeah. The ending of his character is amazing.
Yeah. That's so sick.
No one expected it to happen. That guy's the biggest dick rider of the century.
Yeah.
He would always ride
Uncle
him.
Ruckus.
Yeah. I don't even remember what his name was.
Yeah.
Steven. His name was Steven. That's what it was.
That's right, yeah.
But, like, I don't understand. Even to the very end, even after he's dead, he's still supporting him and trying to fuck over Django.
Yeah, I don't get it.
He didn't need to.
Probably, he is a well-written character, but he's probably the worst character.
Yeah.
In the movie. Well, like, he's a good written character. I'm not saying he's like a bad written character. He's just like easy to hate him. He's the like worst character.
Because, you know, you'd expect him to, you know, support his kind and give love to Django, even if he's like pretending to like Candy to get along in life, so be it. But even when he has the opportunity to help Django, he doesn't do it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
The first time I watched it, I did have a problem with the music, but it grew on me. Like I didn't really think it, or I didn't think it fit. It was fucking Tupac, but
Yeah.
but it grew on me. I think it fits.
Yeah, I like the use of the song in this scene, but throughout the movie, I actually didn't like the modernized music that Tarantino used. That's probably like the biggest problem I had with it. I still consider this a perfect movie, and I give it a 10 out of 10. But the music, honestly, I didn't like the modernized rap and shit. It just took me out of it.
Yeah.
But still really good use. The dive through the door to shoot that guy is sick. He like uses that guy as a shield and pushes him out the door and jumps out. That's a really cool choreographed moment. And I had a problem with this scene because they kept missing Django. It's the classic movie. Like, the good guy doesn't get hit, but, like, they're shooting all around him. They're shooting, like, right above where he's sitting. They're, like, shooting the guy right in front of him instead of him.
Yeah.
Even then, like, those bullets would be ripping through that corpse. They'd be ripping through the, like, thin wood walls. He would have been hit. But
yeah, I feel like it would have been more badass if he got shot and was still gunning all of them down.
exactly. Like, instead it makes his opponent seem completely incompetent. You'd think they've shot some guns. I mean, that's kind of what Tarantino does, though. He makes the bad guy seem like an idiot.
Yeah.
But in this case, I feel like he should have been shot at least once. Would have made more sense, fit better. Because
at least nicked or something.
Yeah.
Like, they completely miss him.
yeah, they shoot everything besides him in this scene.
Yeah.
That scene is, obviously, it's also my favorite scene. It's really well done. It's badass.
Yeah.
The ending of King Schultz is amazing. It's exactly how I feel like he should have gone out. It's just a little disrespectful. Django didn't get to say goodbye, but that's like, you know, what can you do about that? I think that was a perfect way to end his character. But like you said, can't have a Tarantino movie without the N-word, which is something we also wanted to talk about. The fact that Tarantino will always use the N-word, and he is the one writing these movies himself, and he is a white man doing that.
Yeah. And it's one thing to have the actor say it, but he has no problem with saying it himself.
Exactly. He will write in a character for himself, and he'll say the N-word. Like, he says the N-word in this movie. He says it in whatever you said before. I think before we started recording.
Pulp Fiction, yeah.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction he says it in. Like,
multiple times, and like I don't know if you've seen that clip, but like it's kind of random. Like, I don't know why he's saying that.
Yeah.
Like like I'll explain the scene a little bit. One of the main characters, Vincent, he shoots someone in the head, and then he brings them to like their friend's house to take care of the body, and he's like, Tarantino, his character, he says, "Do you see a sign that says dead storage?" He keeps saying that over and over again.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of his use of the N-word is unnecessary. I feel like in this movie he gets away with it a little bit just because of the time period and the setting that he's using. He gets away with it a little bit, but even then there's times where I feel like he's using it very excessively in his writing. And that's one of the only problems I have. He uses it heavily, and I feel like it's not coming from a writing perspective. It is coming from a somewhat racist perspective, in my opinion. Maybe not fully all the way racist, but like it feels like he's trying to get away with something when he says it.
Yeah. Like, I don't understand why he has to slip it in a lot of his movies. Like, the movie would have been the same, like, without it. So, like, it didn't add anything to the movie, him saying it. Leonardo DiCaprio's character, like, obviously it makes sense. He's, like, a full-blown racist.
Yeah.
Like, and, like, the time being, like, it makes sense for him to say the N-word and, like, all of his goons and everything.
But, yeah.
But Tarantino, I don't get it.
Yeah, like, especially in Pulp Fiction, like, you don't have any reason to be saying it then. Like, he wrote that in so he could say it. Like, he knew he was gonna give himself that character and everything. And, I mean, maybe he's just drugged up all the time. He is notoriously, like, a coke user. So, like, he could just be fucked up writing all this shit, saying whatever. But he gets away with it because of his status, because of his whatever. I feel like he definitely has a lot of haters because there are people who agree with what I said, that it's coming from a racist area.
But because of who he is, like you said, his status, like, doesn't really matter.
Yeah, he gets away with it. Even if, like, maybe some people hate him in the main view, like, if he makes a new movie, it's still going to be marketed as a Quentin Tarantino movie, and it's going to do numbers.
Yeah, he's working on his last movie now. I wonder if it's going to have the N-word in it, or...
What's it supposed to be, has he said?
I'm not sure. I don't think he said anything yet, but
yeah.
He just said he's working on it.
Here, let me look at some of our bullet points we have here. Oh, the ending. We can talk about the ending when he blows up Candyland.
Yeah.
Of course, it inspires Red Dead Redemption 2, which is...
Yeah, one of the best missions, actually.
Yeah.
If not the best. Like, that's probably I wouldn't say the most fun mission, but, like, story-wise, it's like a turning point in the story.
Yeah.
That's where you meet. Because of that, that's because you meet Angelo Bronte. But yeah, they based all of that off of this movie and, like, that scene.
Yeah. And because I knew, before I had watched the movie, I watched Django like a week ago probably for the first time. And I always thought, since in Red Dead Redemption they burn it down and I knew it was inspired, I thought, okay, he's going to burn it down here. But no, he straight up blows it up.
Yeah. And then, like, the scene where it just explodes, it's so good.
And then him and Broomhilda just ride away. It's a very nice ending for the character.
Yeah.
I wonder if Django, after the end of where we see, if he's just going to live his life with Broomhilda, or maybe if because of his experience with the doctor, that he might continue bounty hunting, even especially since he died in the way he did, he might want to continue on his legacy.
I would assume so. I feel like because he doesn't really have any money or any, like, way of income.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't really get hired anywhere else because of the time period.
Yeah, and that's another issue for him because this movie does take place before, like, the freedom of the slaves and everything. So, like, him, like, having a white man with him helped Django a lot. And I feel like a lot of the times, like, even if he has that bounty poster, they're going to say, oh, this is a black man shooting a white guy. And he might even get in trouble for it. He only got away with it, really, because he had Dr. Schultz with him, advocating for him, saying, this is my partner, whatever.
Yeah, so it might be tough for him to do it by himself, man. Like, after the whole shootout, after the movie ends, like, I don't know if he would actually continue that.
And, like, I feel like they kind of hint that Django kind of becomes, like, a massively famous person after this. Like, I feel like they don't say that outright, but they, like, kind of hint that he's gonna go down as, like, a legendary person.
Yeah.
And, like, he's gonna have infamy on his name, and that could be a good or a bad thing for him, but we never get to see that resolution of that side of the story, like the story after Django Unchained. So that's something we'll never get to know unless Quentin Tarantino, for some reason, like, his last movie is Django 2. But, you know, we'll never know what happens to Django afterwards. We can only speculate. But I feel like he probably did continue to bounty hunt. He might even have Broomhilda helping him bounty hunt now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Django is an amazingly written character, and Jamie Foxx did a great job. Like, the progression of his reading throughout the movie, I thought was really cool. Like, he doesn't understand how to read at first, and slowly as the movie goes on, he knows more and more.
And I can't really see anyone else playing this role. He did, like, a fantastic job. I don't
really know
who else could play it.
Yeah, I think the cast was perfect.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't imagine anyone else as either of these characters. Okay. What do we got next? Let me check off what we did. We talked about use the N-word. We talked about a little story progression. We could talk more about that. We recapped our favorite moments. We talked about the candy shooting. Okay, here we go. Like, okay, so something that we skip in the movie is the winter time. Of course, Dr. Schultz makes an agreement with Django that during the winter they will bounty hunt and gather cash, and after the winter is finished, they will go look for Broomhilda. But we don't really get to see what happens in the winter, how many bounties they take, or like who they could be. Like what they're doing. We know that they're bounty hunting, but that's about all we know. I could be misremembering something, but I don't think they really tell us about what happens during that winter.
Yeah, it has been a while since I've seen it, but like what I can remember, they didn't really go into detail on what they did.
What did you say?
It's been a while since I've seen it, but from what I can remember, they didn't really go into detail on what they did over the winter.
Yeah, I think maybe they mentioned that they took a bounty or a bounty that they took, but I feel like they were consistently probably taking bounties like maybe once a week, maybe not once a week. That seems a little fast, but I feel like they were definitely getting bounties often. They were able to get about it was like $13,000, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of money, but we do know that like Smitty Bacall alone was worth $7,000. So could they have taken multiple smaller bounties, or was it maybe one or two really big ones? That's something we don't know. Or maybe like if any of these people had significance. I think it would be cool if we got to saw what happened in the winter. Of course, we never will get to know officially unless Quentin Tarantino says something himself. But like that winter, I really wish we got to saw a little bit more bounty hunting than we did. Of course, we got to see the Brittle brothers. That was really cool. When Django gets his revenge on the Brittle brothers, and we saw him kill the one guy in the field with his son. I don't remember his name. But that's really the only bounty hunting for the most part that we see. And I just think it would have been really cool if we got a lot more.
Yeah, I wonder if he did like have a lot written, but he had to like cut some out for the time, like to fit in the.
Yeah.
How long even was the movie? Like 2.5 hours, I'm guessing.
I think it was just above 2.5, like 2 hours and 40 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like Tarantino probably did write at least a little bit more bounty hunting. Like he probably went in a little depth on what happened in the winter, but in the end decided it might be better just to cut it completely.
Yeah. It works without it, but
yeah,
it would have been cool to see what they did over the winter, or
even if it was just a montage or something.
Yeah, or like flashbacks of like after.
Yeah. We get to see Django training in the winter, but that's like all we get. And and they also kind of hint that Django's like the best gunslinger of all time. I mean, he is. He's got the skills.
I mean, he clearly demonstrates it in the shootout.
Yeah.
We can see he is a really good gunslinger.
Yeah. He's quick with the draw, and he's like pinpoint accurate pretty much.
Yeah.
So Django's able to pretty much take down anyone he needs to, and by that point in the story, King Schultz has taught him how to read and even a little German, because he does say Auf Wiedersehen to him, so that he at least knows that. And that was a nice scene, because King Schultz says earlier, I don't want to say Auf Wiedersehen to you, because that means I wish to see you again, and I wish to never see you again. And Django, of course, overheard that, and when he sees King Schultz for the last time, he tells him Auf Wiedersehen. And that's just a nice goodbye to his character, even if Christoph Waltz's character does not get to hear that.
Yeah.
It's still nice for Django to say that. Low key, that's all of our points.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to mention about this movie?
I mean, that's about everything I can remember. I wish I watched it more recently, so it's more fresh in my head.
Yeah, this is a new series. We literally came up with this just earlier.
Yeah.
So this episode is definitely rough around the edges a little bit. We're slightly unprepared. And that's just our bad, but we wanted to get a video done. And
yeah, the next video should be better quality and we'll go more in depth into the next movie.
Yeah. And in the comments, if anyone has any other points about Django, at some point down the line we might do like a Redux review, since this one is pretty rough. We talked about a few basic things that we could think of from the top of our mind, and we made a bullet list about it, but that's it. And also, any other movies you guys want us to review?
Not just Tarantino movies, just anything.
Yeah, it can be any type of movie. We don't give a shit. We'll even watch Goddamn Boss Baby if that's what you want. But just let us know. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for our review. So see you guys in the next one.
Yeah, I'll see you.
Watch this, watch this, yeah. I know sitting on carpet, just like in a Big Lebowski. You got the wrong guy, come on, dude.